Hey, Sam Bruni here. Have to apologize for the super bad, low quality video I'm putting out, but I'm living by one of my own philosophies and beliefs that I've pushed out there, and that is to be successful in this day and age, you have to be willing to create content and not always consuming it. Too many people consume content and aren't creating it. So the most successful people you're going to find right now are going to be the creators. So I felt the need to create this video today. I'm actually traveling. I'm in a hotel room, and I had some time to kind of sit down and expound on my quote that I put up today. My quote said, "You should live your life with purpose on purpose," and I specifically called out young entrepreneurs. Saying, "Learn this lesson now and save yourself a ton of heartache," basically. And the reason I said that was, I think as a young entrepreneur, I chased all the wrong things. I chased money and cars and blah blah blah. You name it, I chased all the wrong reasons. But as I got older, and it wasn't too much older, I didn't spend too. I was a young dad, and I didn't spend too much time chasing the wrong things. Right? They're always there in the back of your mind, ego and stuff like that set in. But really, it's about getting on purpose and moving forward. And it's actually one of the hardest things that society has. This is where most people are stuck. And the reason for that is we actually typically, as a person and as businesses, tend to be on the outside talking about getting to center as opposed to already being on center and on purpose and projecting outwardly. And what I mean by that is when you're on purpose, you're always on the journey. You're never going to get to the end. And most people are always on the journey and they actually get to the end. And when they get there, they're not fulfilled. If you're getting to the end of your journey not fulfilled, or what maybe some people would call a goal, and it's not fulfilling, it's because you're not on purpose. When you're on purpose, you'll never get to the end. You're going to wake up every day loving what you do. And I don't think your purpose is going to be the same as my purpose. I think people have different purposes and they live for different reasons and they want to contribute to society in different ways. But most people are stuck in a non-purposeful position in life. And what you find is that when you're in this state, it's a more chaotic state. In life, there's math that presents itself called the Fibonacci and the golden ratio, and several others, but just go do research on those two and look at the repetitive patterns that present themselves in nature. And the fact that we all come from the same source and we're all bound by natural laws would mean those patterns should show up in our lives. And when you're in a state of chaos, those patterns are not going to show up. When you're not living a life on purpose, those patterns are not going to be as predictable or present themselves. So I think there's moments of this in our lives, but there's people, you hear them talk about it, very successful people. Things just constantly are presenting themselves. A lot of people have moments and glimpses of it. We call them blessings, we call them manifestations, miracles, being at the right place at the right time, and on and on and on. These things don't happen as frequently or as often until you get on purpose. The patterns are there and they're predictable. You want to be in a state of predictable patterns. So, where we get stuck, I've kind of talked about the journey, and a lot of us love the journey, and a lot of us don't want to put the time in. It takes time, lots of time. You can't go from, you have to learn, you have to master what it is you're trying to be purposeful about. And maybe your mastery is only, a year, and maybe it's 10. I don't know. Everybody's purpose is going to be different. But what I do know is that in order to get there, most of what holds us up is letting go of jobs, letting go of friendships, maybe even a bad marriage, letting go of family members that maybe are dragging you down. Like, the worst case scenarios of letting go are what keep us there. We have tons of excuses. for giving up and getting our lives on purpose. I have 5 kids. It'd be easy for me to say, I'm not going to live my life on purpose because I'm gonna go to a crappy job every day because I want to be able to provide for my kids and give them a better life. But we all know that some of the most successful people, or a lot of the most successful people that you run into, don't come from the best upbringings. So to have that as an excuse is a poor excuse. I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and I watched all the talk shows, the Sally Jesse Raphael, the Phil Donahue show, and the stuff that kids go through and families go through it's just insane. But none of that really should be the reason to hold you back. And I can go on, but you get the point. So really, it boils down to getting your life on purpose. And as an entrepreneur, it's easy to be kind of all over the place and scatterbrained and want to be all these different things. And I'm that way. But what I've found that if I look into each and everything I want to do at the center, I'm saying the same thing. And most of the time, well, so before I go there, I actually don't want to go there today. I'll go there. I'll talk about my past. It's a long past and journey, and I don't have time for that. But what I would say is that you won't be able to you won't have things presented to you in your life till you get past this point. Everything that's going to be presented to you at this state is going to be always about getting on purpose until you get there. So get there so that you're not constantly thinking about getting there. And whether it's consciously or unconsciously, or if it's internal or external sources like making you want to get there, just get there. Get yourself in a position to get there so that you can now have the next things start to present themselves. And those next things that are going to present themselves to you aren't going to be cars and money. Those things are the result of living on purpose, right? They're probably not they're not going to be the purpose. And I've already said that. So I'll just leave you with this. The most inspired I've ever been in my life, both professionally and personally, is when I'm living my life on purpose. So I wish you the best of luck in your journeys, and hope nothing but great things for you in your future, and hope to connect with you again.